Nkosi, welcome.
Hello, hello everyone.
Well, while you were away, I was just accepting all the praise for the audio, the recording of your voice with it's really phenomenal, Nkosi. Everybody just loves it. I've listened to it, over and over, and others have reported the same. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
I listened today for the first time, and you had over 225 hits.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Nkosi, I hope that you're safe and that everything is okay where you're at.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Yeah, things seems to be like there's calm now. Yeah, there's calm. It's no longer like before.
Good.
Yeah, there's calmness.
Oh, a new face. So welcome everybody. So good to have you all here. The simple message is there's just this. That's it.
So how does one, how does calmness, not reacting when there's, maybe life-threatening things going on outside and some uncertainty and, because I get triggered, and how do, the high character gets triggered. How does it look for someone who's just done so much devolving? How does that look for someone that's just, as far as, something that's life-threatening? How does that work?
This doesn't know anything.
So if someone came to the door and pointed a gun, it's like, whatever?
No, whatever would happen would happen. If someone pointed a gun, this body would probably run, is my guess. But I don't There's no knowing. That's the illusion. Tim Kliss had a beautiful quote today, which I posted, if anybody saw it on Facebook in my non-duality community, about this, that the illusion is that this is knowable, that our natural state, right? Check it. Your natural state is not knowing or unknowing. That's your natural state. The artificial one is, I think I know this, that, and the other.
But does this plan, if something's coming down the pike, does this plan for things or doesn't register?
It's already doing it. You're not doing anything, Joan.
So it seems like everything just happens and there's no thinking events.
Well, like thinking happens, feelings happen, everything happens.
It all happens, but nothing seems to register and land.
Well, nobody owns it.
Well, I understand it's not a mental movement to get to that basic point or whatever the hell that is. Because, the Chinese torture test, the more you try, the tighter it gets. So it's not a mental movement. I get a sense it's kind of like relaxing into whatever space, relaxing into some kind of space.
Well, see, the thing is, the me already starts off knowing that it has a life. Yeah. So that was my comment. I left a comment under Tim's quote that me knows, right? Starting with I am. So that's what I know. I exist and I have a life. So I know that. And I know it's difficult. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I know that I'm trying my best. See all these things I know?
Mm.
That's to me.
It's an accumulation of things we know, which grows and grows and grows until it can be quite large. But at some point, that needs to be recognized as knowing and is connected with me, and that the reality is not knowing.
That's not, reality is not knowing.
That's it.
And the ego thinks that the older it gets, the more it knows.
Well, just to piggyback on Charles, so if reality is not knowing, so the me is the dream of knowing.
Well, not knowing appears as knowing. Not knowing appears as knowing, but everything that's known is really nothing.
I know, right? It's kind of like when Nkosi first came, one of his first times here, he was saying, find my words. It was like a challenge to me. He's like, where are the words that I'm speaking right now? You can't find them. There are no words here. Look, he's right. You can't find the words I'm speaking.
Same goes with the dates. So you can say that today it's Wednesday, but if you can try to look for Wednesday, where is it? Can you find Wednesday? It's all
It's after
imagined.
someday. Comes after someday.
Wednesday comes after Sunday.
Someday.
It's all in the calendar. It's just an imagination, and no one is imagining anything.
Well, it seems like a construct that's agreed upon by a majority to go along as a reference point of some sort. But it's like if you're in outer space, what day is it?
Yeah, it's a thought construct.
Yeah, it's a
But when
they're all,
it's
they're all
looked for, it's
constructs,
not
and
there.
I can
Yeah.
see some more than others.
The one who seems to be,
You know, because I mean, I understand what you're saying about the hell day. We don't know what day it is. It's any day, but we all agreed. Well, we're going to go on that calendar, so I guess it's that day. But we really don't know. It's that part I get.
No, but Joan, you're still not hearing, the message here is nothing's knowable, not just Wednesday.
I know. It's you know.
No, you don't know.
Are you aware that you just answered that by saying, I know?
It's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah, I know.
Ah!
She did it
There's
again. Comic relief.
I just wonder why I'm here in this group. I love it. I look forward to it. But Michael, you talk about resonance, that there's a resonance with what's spoken of. But I don't even know. I don't know if it's resonance. For me, the thing that I can identify is that it's just that it's good news for me. It's like I've tried everything else, and this is the place and the message that has got hope. And maybe hope's not real either, but I don't know about resonating with it. It's just like when I was some time ago, they renamed the Bible the Good News Bible, and I was into the Christian thing, and it was called the Good News. Well, after years of being in that Christianity evangelical thing, I never felt there was good news about anything really that was being taught. But when I come to this group, I'd call this the good news group. So there you go. Have a comment on that one.
I'm going to comment. No news is good news.
Well, I just want to say, Faith, you could not have picked a better person to ask, because Nkosi used to be a pastor,
Oh,
a Christian pastor. So we will await his answer.
good, please.
It is good news, but it's good news for no one, because already there isn't anyone here. What you are looking for is this already, and the one looking is this. So I can say there's nobody looking, because this cannot be found. The one looking for this, the me that seems to be looking for this, cannot be found. Even the one who's trying to find the me cannot be found. So there's nothing here. So who is to find anything? So there's nobody. It may seem to be a good feeling when this is heard, but it's a good feeling for no one. Peace may arise, but it arises for no one. Joy, love may arise, but it arises for no one, because there's only this. There's no separate happening, which is happening outside of this. There's nobody outside of this trying to know this. All what seems to be happening, the me that seems to appear, is this already. It appears in this as this. So the me cannot be found, this cannot be found. Because there's nothing here. There's just this. It may seem to be a question arising, but no one is questioning. There's no questioner. Because it's all this. No, there's just this, and all else is imagined by no one. Because there isn't a you already. The feeling of being a me is not a proof that there's a me. that body is not a proof that there's really you. It's just a body. The body is innocent. The body is there, but the me is not. The me never existed, and it will never exist, because there's only this.
So there's
This
no,
does not exist.
so there's no, you don't have any love for being the everything, the all that was prior to being born. You have no, you don't want to drop into the nothingness being allness. And the others, great sages have taught, all the great teachers which were representing that became that.
That too is this.
In other words, this is nihilistic, what you're saying. If there's nothing, period, there's everything. You see, there's everything. In the nothingness of the no body, no mind, there's everything. You are that. It's prior to birth. It can't be known, but you are that. You're the space, the boundless everything.
Yeah, see, that is this.
Hmm.
That
There's
is
just
this.
this, nothing else.
Well, that was this, just as Francis was saying it. At the time he was saying it, that was this. And it was based on memory and knowledge of what others have said about the beginning of time or whatever reference. And that memory and that cluster of knowledge and your voice and so on was are this, but it's already gone. The whole passage is already gone, but this remains. It's still here, and there's no here.
In this realm,
That's just story.
Yeah,
It's more story.
it's not knowable, but it's not knowable, but this, it's not a story.
Well, it appears to be a story.
Where's Peter? Peter, isn't this exactly what is going on? This is like the 5th time I've heard this in the last 24 hours. What Francis is, you're not alone, Francis. There was several comments on my post today, kind of saying what you're saying. There seems to be, it's the funniest thing to me, but there seems to be sort of, I'll just say it like this. There seems to be sort of 2 ways of expressing this. One way is there's something here that is aware of everything. There's something here that's conscious of every action. And it's my true nature. It's what I am before thought. I'm consciousness, but I can't say it or speak it like that. Okay? And it would be said that you can know that somehow. What's being shared here at this meeting is there isn't anyone, here it comes, already.
I agree with that. What I'm saying though is the manifested consciousness is attached to the manifested body form from the seed in this plane. What I came out of is the unknowable, everything that's words cannot describe. Prior to, I was the eternal everything.
So Francis, are those 2 things or are those one thing?
What? Well, there's 2 things. This manifested consciousness is not real. It's not a body mind as I think it is. But what it came out of is the unknowable absolute. Now, this is obviously a Hindu twist, right? This is a...
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly following you, but is it 2 things or one thing?
Well, it's really one thing.
It's one thing. It's this.
It's this. It's language, yes. I mean, if that's what you guys call that.
I think this is what Nisargadatta calls that.
Yes. There you go. Then we're in agreement. It just sounded a little nihilistic the first time around. I'm sorry.
Well, I want to, my brain is a little bit fried, but what I heard earlier today, the question was in very simplistic terms, whether there is knowing. And I said, knowing kind of presupposes a knower, somebody that knows. So I said, there is not knowing. And so the other person came back and said, well, not in his book, because, you know, like the awareness is another word that is often used, that there is this awareness that, and the question was, how does this relate to this? And I don't really have a clear picture of any of it, but knowing, yeah, my hunch is that what is talked about here is not knowing, but that this, yeah, when I bring knowing in, I get 2. Somebody that knows this versus this being, something like that.
Well, only if you subscribe the subject to the knowing. If there's just this, then there's knowing that arises, and that knowing could be of the not knowing. It's a sensation, but it doesn't mean that there's anyone there to feel it.
could it be when Michael earlier said, could it knowing, but nobody owns the knowing? There is knowing, unowned knowing.
Unowned not knowing. How many double negatives can we stack on top of each other to get to this?
Well, in a way, Peter, I would agree with you, right? Because if you said, you know, Michael, do you know how to get to the post office? I would say, yeah, I have a post office down the street. I know how to get there. So there's definitely the appearance of knowing, right? If you have directions and you need to get somewhere, it appears that you know how to get there, or you don't, you'll use Google Maps. But that's the illusion. The illusion is that this is knowable, but it functions fine for daily, you know, what you need to do. But there's still not a you there anywhere involved. That's the illusion, that there's a me there doing it and getting frustrated and it's not working out quite right. I have to be better. So that's the illusion of the me, is I know I have a life. And once I know I have a life, what choice do you have but then to try and make your life better?
Just, you know, somehow it sounds weird that there is knowing, even though there was agreement that it's unknowable. So if it's unknowable, what do you want to know? It just seems like that knowing, it just reeks of me. Like it can be subtle, but knowing means I've made up my mind that this is how it is somehow, you know.
Well, people are trying to describe the indescribable, right? Christ called it eternal life. People call it being in the now. Knowing, I mean, it's, you know, pick a word. Awareness.
They just try to find different words for this.
Maybe
No,
it's
I mean,
undescribable appearing as knowing. It's undescribable, but it's appearing as knowing in this moment, so to speak.
See, the me always has a story, but right now, do you need a story? Any story right now? What's it like not to have a story?
a relief. So I'm tired of creating all these stories and making them fit.
But if you can try to look for the story right now, you may find that there is no story. Already, there's no story. It's imagined. There's no story. It seems to be there when it is not looked for. It seems to exist. But when you try to look for it, it is not there. So there wasn't any story. And the one looking for it is not already. There's only this.
End of story.
Can we call this God?
Sure.
And then we surrender and it's over with.
There's no us to do anything. There's only this. The one who seems to be talking right now is this already. Is appearing is in this as this. So there's no us, there's no one here. There's just this.
Can we call it the
There's
divine?
no. Okay, go on. Go
The
ahead.
divine. I mean, you can see I'm coming from a very, not religious, but it's the faith, you know, the belief.
Yeah.
It's the power that moves mountains.
Christ, you say that it's closer to you than your own hand, right? It's here already.
Yes. Even before the question arises, it's already here. It's just this. And it cannot be known. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Nkosi, I was going to say, I've asked two questions of you recently, one on Facebook and then that one earlier that you answered. And each time when you've answered me, it's like you've cut the legs out from under me. I'm not complaining about it. It's just like it cuts my legs out from under me and brings me to a full stop. Boom. And I've got nothing to say, nowhere to go. Just this, just here. So, yeah, thank you. Because I like it. I like it that I like it that I haven't got any comeback.
But that's not necessary, because now we're saying if you're pointing to the Nkosi, it's saying he is giving the
well, the message that comes from that form, maybe. Does that suit you better, Francis?
But you see, that's how sages have risen, because there are people that clear, and that's how these religions have started with Jesus or Buddha, because there were people who got it. And the guru can be a powerful teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that about?
Trust me, I've tried to figure out how to, I've written 9 books. So trust me, I've sat here and thought, how could I write a non-duality book? But you know what? I can't get past it would only be 3 words. There's just this. How much can I get for that?
Well, Michael, it might have just this on the cover, and then inside it's just empty.
Yeah. That'd be a bet.
Okay, we'll put you
Reminds me
inside.
of a pet rock.
Nkosi, do you know about the pet rock? Or might be before your time. No? Okay. So for those of you who don't know, I don't know, was it in the 70s, Joan? Some entrepreneur, I kid you not, I'm not making this up, he got a rock, but it was a nice rock.
It was around Christmas time, so it sold like crazy.
Yeah, and it was, like maybe, I don't know, a small potato, like a really small potato. And he got a little like cage for it, and he put like, I don't know, like hay in it. And then he put a little booklet and called it, you could have it as a pet. He called it a pet rock. And it came with an instruction book, how to care for your pet rock. Joan, did he not sell millions?
Marketing ploy, man, I tell you. And it was around Christmas time. It's for the person who has everything.
All right.
That's right.
There you go.
They don't have one of these, so that's what you're getting for Christmas. And it sold like crazy. Timing. I mean, it's just like crazy. So, but I love this is it. It's just this. And then you open it up and all the pages are empty. I think that's perfect. Great idea, Faith.
You
Well,
get
my
a
favorite
pet
book
rock.
is, sorry, Charles, go ahead.
You could get a pet rock and put a little sign on it and say, is this this? I did that with a photograph on Facebook. Is this with a small letter of this? Is this this with the capital letter this?
My favorite book is I Am That. I read from it every day, and it's a series of amputations, Faith. People just coming to Mr. Gadata and asking him questions, and him just breaking it down, through the questions.
I remember hearing, stories. He was ruthless. He just
Thing is, if you make the cover attractive enough, people will buy it. I think it's a great idea.
He said,
Do it.
I am, correct? So
Just sell them online.
isn't that the practice then? There is the knowing of the I am. Charles?
I'm sorry, Francis, what was that?
So Nisargadatta said, stay in the I am. He stayed with the I am constantly. And from there, he swam out to the absolute, or the not, that he realized he was that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's try to find it. And, it's like there's something here, right? I mean, we do have some sort of perception, and it's constantly sort of, a process of short-term memory, weaving things into long-term memory, weaving things into this illusory sense of self. So, what his teacher said is try to find it, look for it. And constantly, don't look away. As much as you can, look for it. And through that very process of not finding it, finding the words, things can sort of open it up. And I think he's gears more towards what you're talking about, rather than saying that it's a both. It's a dual process, right? Seeing that you don't exist, and that you're seeing that you're everything, that you're this. Those happen at the same time, right? You look inside, see that you're nothing. You look outside, see that you're everything. So yeah, I mean, he taught a process to get there, but we've got our own process, right? We're just focusing on that this is this. That's what we're doing here, right, Michael?
Well, that's the thing. That's the rub. There's just this isn't a process.
The process suggests that somebody wants to achieve something or wants directions to get somewhere. And what it's talked about here, as they say, is there's nowhere to get because it's already this. So there's no process needed to get from this to this.
But I would say a lot of good that's going to do you if you don't realize it.
That's this
right?
too.
That's this too. Sure.
But I think that's a really important point about, years ago, I kept asking a friend, tell me how. I know exactly what I want and how I want to feel, but tell me how do you do it? And he said, I said, what's the path? And he said, there's no path. And I went like, shit, that doesn't help me. And it really took me years and years, and just it starts dawning. If there is nowhere to go, and okay, if there is no one that has to go nowhere, looking for a path seems absurd.
Well, hell, we might as well just sit around and drink beer and watch TV, huh, Peter?
Well, that's the argument. It's a good argument.
Charles, excuse me, you say that as if that's a bad thing.
Right.
Well, I was being facetious. There's nothing wrong with drinking beer and watching TV. I'm
Right,
just
but what
saying.
you're saying is, am I to give up my me and no longer read Nisargadatta every day or work towards that enlightenment? Or, you know, I guess they would say, that's the me hates that. The me wants to be busy. The me wants to have a purpose in life. And so if that's a threat, not to have to get somewhere, it's a threat. What am I to do? What am I going to do now?
So
Well,
Peter, I've got a couple of handy tips, or just to look at. So you said I know where I am, and I know where I want to go. I know what I am when I'm experiencing, and I know where I want to go.
Yeah, that
So
was
you-
years ago, not now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I would-
no, I don't want to go anywhere. No, I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
well, yeah, you can look and see, what do I know? Because if I know that I'm here and I know where I want to go, then I can go and find a path that will take me there. That's, and there are lots, right? But if I don't, do I know? Usually we start with, I know where I am and I know where I want to go. I've got this knowledge and I'm starting from there. So that's the question that we ask here. Do I know? Do I know that? Do I know where I am? Do I know there's someone here that's going somewhere? Or,
Well, I hear
Yes, yes.
Nkosi and Michael and people say, there is no one here to know anything.
well, what do you say? Or don't come out with an answer out of your pocket.
No. The thing is, yeah, it's one thing to know the words and to repeat the words. They call it parroting. Another thing, and I don't have an answer. I come here, I listen, and I share. And the one thing, and it's tough to say I know this after I said a minute ago, there is no one here to know anything. That is a tough thing. With that said, and I guess the word for that is a paradox or whatever you want to call it. But with that said, I'm using another word that Michael has introduced a while back, resonance. It resonates here that if this is all there is, it resonates that I don't need a path. I don't need a process. I don't need to answer your question. I don't have a question. I'm just here. And what happens is happening. And I'm fine with it. I'm not, it's fine. It's okay.
So just to finish up with what I was kind of going to, and I'm putting this out to everyone, because, we're just saying every week, there's just this, and then there's somehow there's questions that come up, and then there's something somewhere else to go with just getting just this. So what I'm suggesting is, if there's anything else but just this, it might be that there's some knowledge. And we can look into that. What am I holding on to? What am I assuming that I know? Or,
Sure.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
think
the doorway.
I just think that if I observe myself, the me, or that's what I'm constantly trying to do. I'm trying to kind of document what's going on.
Mhm.
So it was a big breakthrough for me.
But do you know what that is? Even documenting what's going on? I mean, is that something? What is that? Do you know what that is? Is
I
there
think
someone
it's,
there
I
that
think
can
it's my
document?
story. You can call it my story. It's a bunch of beliefs and assumptions that I'm making based upon what I heard and picked
Right.
up.
Which is all just this.
What would I know? other than what I picked up along the way, and what of that isn't my story? I mean, there is no, it's not like I can't drill down to the center of wisdom and get it from there and say, this is it. Whenever I start naming things and I'm making up theories and I'm building them based on what I heard, and some resonate, some doesn't resonate.
Peter.
Yes, Michael.
Who is speaking right now?
Peter. To me.
Wrong answer. Peter, you know this one.
No, I'm not looking for an answer.
Well, I would just point out that just now, you're telling a lot of stories, very interesting stories, but all of that is based on knowing that I'm Peter, knowing a lot of stuff, but it's all based on some kind of knowing. But is there any knowing? Is there somebody who knows anything right now in this? Or is there just this without knowing anything about it or where it's going or what to do with it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what is being talked about here. And typically I resonate with that.
So I'm saying this to everyone, and I'm not trying to get you to agree with me.
No, I mean, that's clear. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't show up here if I wasn't resonating with the idea that there is only this. I'm not arguing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as time, yet it changes and grows.
Oh yeah, Nkosi, do you have a few words about time?
There's no time. Except in the watch, there's no time here. There's just this, and all else is imagined. Today is not even Wednesday, and there's no today. There's just this. This is not now. There's no now. Now is just a word. This cannot be described. This cannot be known. This is not even this. And nobody knows this because there isn't anyone already. There's just this, and there are characters appearing. And talking happens. Nobody's talking. Nobody knows anything. Nobody understands anything. Even the one who seems not to understand this is already this. There isn't anyone here. There are no separate individuals. There are no individuals at all. There's just this. This cannot be known. This is effortless and obvious. Seeking may seem to appear, but nobody's seeking. Understanding may seem to appear, but nobody's understanding anything because there isn't anyone already. You are not already. There's just this. No matter whom you may think you are, no matter the person you think you are not already. It's this already. There's just this. And I'm not trying to convince anybody because there isn't anybody here. There's just this. I'm not already. You're not thinking. Thinking happens. Nobody's thinking. That body right there is not a proof that you exist. It's just a body. And the body is just a name. It's not even a body. Just a name. If we were to remove all names, all labels, can thinking happen? There's nothing here. There's just this. There's just everything, wholeness. There's no past, there's no present, and there's no future. And there's no one. There's nothing here. There's just this. It appears as everything, but it's nothing. And nobody to find, there's nobody to find anything, because there isn't anyone already. And this right here doesn't know that, doesn't know anything. And nobody's talking. There's only this. So whatever might seem to be happening right now, whatever has been said, it's okay. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with anything, because all what seems to appear is already this. This is how it's supposed to play out. Exactly what's happening right now is this already. You can't go wrong with this. There are no mistakes. It's all this. So all is okay. You're not already. It's just this, everything, wholeness, everything. Nobody's excluded because there isn't anyone already. It's all happening. It seems to happen at once. It's all happening at the same time. Yet there's no time. There's just this. That's it.
Wow. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for coming. We appreciate everyone's comments, everyone's sharing. Really, it's just so great. And Nkosi, thank you so much, brother. Everybody, I'll do my best to get this up on YouTube in the next 24. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Bye.